Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 72 of our Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon campaign, the Halls of Arden Vul by Richard Barton. We are using the old school Essentials system, heavily house ruled by Necrotic Gnome. My name is John. I am your referee for the evening, and going around the horn, we have a full house.
Hello, I am Mike. I'm going to be playing Brother Lothar, the 5th level cleric of Odin.
Hi, I'm David. I'll be playing Upur, the 2nd level magic user.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. Tonight I'll be playing Wolfhard Cheek. He's a 2nd level barbarian, damn it. Leave me alone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted, and tonight, shockingly, I will not be playing Mortis J. Gabliano, but instead Titus Valerius, half-elf, because he wants some XP and he's tired of sitting in a room writing in a scroll spell book, and he wants to do something fun.
You know, you know, not having you in the party tanks are like XP gain from Feats of Exploration, right?
Well, I sort of thought that we were going to get abs tonight when I
Something on your cheek there, Mike?
I got it.
Brother Lothar is carrying the bulk of the Feats of Exploration
Which is
TXP
insane
right now, but it's quite a substantial amount, actually. So, but yeah, we haven't seen Titus in action, except very briefly when the party was split. He has been busy in the debouchement doing downtime activities, very important downtime activities, actually, which is collating and transcribing all of the myriad spells that they have collected over the ages. You want to read that as a couple months. And of numerous spell books, though. Ted, why don't you give us a rundown of what Titus has transcribed so far?
just for himself, you mean, or
in his book, in his own book?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So he's added a bunch of spells to his meager spell book, which had ventriloquism, floating disc, and read languages, and now he's added comprehend languages, the spell torch treatment, which extends torch life.
You can just whip through it.
The look away.
Level 2. Sorry.
What's that?
You can just whip through it. We just want to get.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Torch treatment, look away, enlarge, charm person, and sleep, which are all 1st level spells. Due to a elvish to Arcantian transcription error, we have the Brian full of spiders, web, the Bracteros effect. All those are 2nd level spells, and he's very excited to level up someday and cast Dispel Magic and Lightning Bolt.
Cool. So that we determined that was what he's been able to transcribe so far, and that is from transcribing 12 hours on the 7th, and today is the 8th of Gelenios, and it's around 2:40ish in the afternoon. So it's about another 6 hours or so that he's been able to do today before he decided to go adventuring. So it's a total of 18 hours, and what we had we did determine through our new magic house rules is that it takes 1 hour per spell level per spell to transcribe. So that basically equates to 18 spell levels worth of spells that he was able to transcribe. So if you add up all of those spells and their levels, that totals 18, and that's what he's got in his book. There are many, many more to transcribe. And the downside, too, is that Titus, being a half-elf, cannot cast anything yet. But he's
Maybe
got it
you
in
should
his
have
book.
learned how to cast some stuff instead of just writing everything down.
Yeah. So, but
that's like a kid looking through his Pokemon cards that he can't actually play yet. Look at this one. This one's cool, man.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Absolutely.
But that's why
AKA
Titus has got to go adventuring.
sorry.
Sorry, David. Go ahead.
I was going to say, AKA how all of us read our first D&D PHPs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I know what that is.
For the monster manual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
Sure be nice to play this game. That looks cool.
Well, AI is going to play it for you pretty soon, I read.
Oh God. Topic for another night. All right, let's get adventuring here. So, party, yes. So we got Lothar, Upur, Titus, and Wolfhard, and the 2 retainers that you're taking. Tell us.
I thought we'd bring Njal for one. And who else were we going to bring?
Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth, the druid.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
She's
Okay.
got the task.
All right, so it is the 8th of Gelenios, so it's 2:40 in the evening. They have returned from their jaunt eastward. They were rebuffed in prior Jacobus's secret tomb by a plethora of ghoulish undead, unfortunately, and they were without a cleric at that time. But upon retreating, they decided to give a couple of strange stone doors a little look-see, and found out that they were the devious entrances to they were false entrances, basically, to lure the unwary. However, we have veterans of D&D at the table here, and they saw it all the way. And managed to collect some treasure in the meantime. So they were able to retreat back to the debouchement with the treasure, cash in all that XP, which is really great, and they're able to reform their party. Avaricios, little notes of... we went through Titus's downtime. Avaricios has continued to build his shrine out. He had a meager basic one that suited enough to actually whip off that Raise Dead spell on Lyda, now for Sanya. But he's continuing apace to do it. Checking in with Matt during the week, he had determined that he wanted to build the shrine out of primarily wood and have it fully outfitted so that it would have like all the accoutrements, ritualistic items, all that sort of stuff that a priest would need in order to carry out his business, especially for research and spell casting. So that ups the price a little bit. And that price that I have determined, which is loosely based on the prices for strongholds in the OSE book, is 2,815 gold pieces. That money is not... I mean, you're kind of parceling it out and paying it out as you go, but just for the sake of mechanics, I'm going to say that you have to have that paid by the time that the work is finished. You can pay it at any time you want, Matt, if you've got the funds ready to go. But it does need to be paid. It's going to be finished in 9 days, which will be... the work was started on the 6th, so it will finish on the 15th of Gelenios, and today is the 8th. So you have 7 more days to go before that is totally complete. So what do you want to do for the money for Matt?
Well, I know we have plenty in the stash. I think that he would want to pay at least half now and then half again when it's done. He doesn't want to be too showy and paying it all off at once. But half up front, half when it's done.
Okay,
so we have the party funds to do that. I think it should be okay, right, guys?
Yeah, if you tell me again how much it was.
1407 is what you would owe right now if you wanted to do half.
1407. Okay.
Let's talk about the VIG on this loan, Matt. We can make that loan for you today. It's just an easy 10-15%.
We're really highly abstracting this, so it's like, just kind of picture it as like a gradual process of building, using the goblins to kind of help you out. You're doing most of the work yourself because the goblins couldn't really give a shit about what you're doing, and they're like, a lot of them are kind of scared of you too now.
Well, that's just. But I was thinking just having supplies kind of run up and run down.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing that we haven't talked about that I thought would be kind of good and appropriate is, throughout this process, making a deal with, I forget the goblin's name, but he's the one that sold the beer down in the goblin marketplace. Mm-hmm. Just getting him to supply, once it's up and running, to supply copious amounts of alcohol, and we can work out, whatever that deal is. But just like, as this is building, that's part of the intent. Like that's part of Lycion Soul deals is spirits and wine.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out.
Cultivate that relationship just as we go.
Yeah. We'll add prices to that for when the work is finished. But I dig it. Okay. Because you're fully outfitting it with the increased price, that will give you all suitable materials for researching spells and rituals. So just be aware that will be available to you, and you can, within reason, extrapolate that sort of like it. So if you don't want to necessarily use that stuff for research and rituals, and you want to use it, like John, do I perhaps have like a candelabra to use? You know what I mean? In some other fashion, I would probably say okay.
Okay.
Titus is transcribing. We did, which is good. Oh, last thing I wanted to note business-wise before we actually go on with the adventuring. It's something actually that someone in the Discord actually pointed out, and I totally forgot as well. And I don't know if you guys picked up on it. You remember that you found that strange rod with the fish impressions on it last session, right?
Yeah.
You do know, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but you already have one that is identical.
Yeah.
You didn't mention it during the session, David or Ted, so I wasn't sure if that was something that you recognize or not.
I thought we had one.
I think Ted mentioned.
I remembered. Go ahead, David.
Thanks, John.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said I Ted, you had made that remark maybe privately. So yeah, perfect. Good to know explicitly though that is another one of them. So we can do the most important activity of D&D, which is be a couple of name brand beer drinking fishermen.
Yep. So
we got that in Goblin Town, right? Was that we bought it from
Trading.
you traded it as part of trading in a wand for a couple of items. So
Perfect.
you've got two identical ones, and they are exactly identical. There's no difference between them, just so you're aware. You found one in the wild, one was in the market. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have deemed last week that their priorities for this session are threefold. One is to try to finish up the prior Jacobus thing and put his spirit to rest. Two is to explore more of the eastern areas. And three is to finish up the Beastman ambassadorship deal with the goblins. So that's what you guys have determined that your goals are. How would you like to go about doing those?
First thing, I would like to request that the magic longsword we found last time, that Titus could carry that for tonight. We'll try it out, see if maybe it's an undead slayer, maybe it's cursed, who knows, but yes, Mike?
I'm just saying, it's like, you're some mope that we just found in the dungeon. We don't know you at all. Like, why are we?
Here's a holy avenger. Get at it.
Let's talk about the VIG, okay? Let's talk about the VIG.
I want a magic sword. Give me a magic sword, Mike. You didn't find it. You were here.
I can't even use it.
Fine, take it,
Wolfert
dude.
doesn't want it. Give the half elf the sword. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
It's going to be the best magic item in the game. You just watch.
Okay, so this is the one that has the eagle crossguard. Okay.
Yes.
And you found that on one of the bodies in the false entrance.
Page 183.
It also glows, always.
Ooh.
Like torchlight?
No, like soft blue light.
No.
Sting light.
To the extent that it would interrupt stealth attempts.
Yeah, if you were complete darkness and had the blade unsheathed, yes.
Cool.
Okay.
But you can sheath it and it douses the. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, so where are you going? You got Njal and Njal and Elizabeth are psyched to head out with you. They strap on, put the dark paint underneath their eyes, and they're ready to rock.
Sweet.
Take us to adventure, fearless leaders.
I defer to the people that have been here before. You guys knock yourselves out. How do we get there without dying?
Yeah, where's the action?
Where are you going?
Back? Shall we go back to the ghoul room? Is that the plan? Let's do it.
Well,
let's go smite some ghouls.
Let's at least try it. Worst
All right,
case, we open the door, we all die.
Okay, so you're gonna head. You're gonna head east. Are you going to go fast because you know the territory, or are you gonna go slow?
Fast.
Slow. Gelatinous cubes don't care if you've been there before.
Let's just run. Come on, let's run.
Nope, I've changed my mind. Mike's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy the numbers, buy the book. Let's not get stupid and crazy.
Okay,
All right.
Moving slowly. Slowest person's moving at 90, correct?
I am actually at 90. Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let me just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Unfortunately, Titus dies because it takes too long. He has to go back to Elvenkind. And
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm going to say moving at 90. This is kind of estimating a little bit. I wasn't too careful, but it's going to take you, I'm going to say 4 turns to move slowly. I'm going to assume that when you're in the Great Hall of Columns that you use the same tactics that you've used before in order to dissuade the cephalopods. If you are going to use those same tactics, I need someone to mark off a torch.
I'll mark one off.
Wolfar has 5. I can mark one off.
I am now completely out of them, though I do have some oil left in the lantern from.
Okay.
I've got 6, Mike, so I'll mark one of mine off.
All right, sounds good.
Wolfert has 3. So
Do we want to attempt a recreation of our rope trick that we did last time with one of the bodies with a different one? You were interested in one of the beastmen, Todd?
Yes, let's do that.
John, is that acceptable? For me to
Manacle
do
through the
another-
collarbone.
Sorry, I missed that.
Another manacle. as we did last session, would it be feasible to use a manacle attached to a rope to fish one of the beastman bodies, as we did the mage's bodies from the cephalopod room last session? Basically, I'd run by, hook it on his collarbone, continue running,
holding the door open, sort of thing.
So we would come from the secret door to the north, right? As we're sprinting to the southeastern corridor with 200 feet of rope.
Oh, one of the bodies in Great Hall. I thought you meant the secret passage.
Yes. I'm going to do the same fishing trick where I snag it and then I run the rope out and then we fish it back.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it with one of the beastman bodies this time.
That'll take an extra turn.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also going to say that two turns were spent getting yourself set and then reassembling at the end of last session, the beginning of this session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
In the debouche. So with the extra turn for fishing, that's going to put you at 3:50 p.m. So almost 4. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So you grab what do you pull out of there, Upior?
One of the beasts. There's 2 beastman corpses, right? So I'm going to grab one, whichever one is most convenient.
There's 4 beastmen, but yeah, you can grab one. That's fine. They have that beastman has a short sword, a spear, a helmet, and it has a leather armor in the Arcantian Legionnaire style.
Do you want to do a close search of the guys, or just leave it as is?
Well, the point was I wanted to know if the beastmen carried charms or talismans or had specific tattoos to their band, or just like any kind of information that might help us learn something about beastmen.
Makes sense.
Whether to blend in with one in disguise or whatever we might do in the future, who knows?
Right. I guess there probably would be an identifier, but nothing that's going to give you any more insight. It does tell you that the beastman you pull out has a sheep's head, no horns, but it has the insignia of actually, I guess I don't think you would recognize the company. So the insignia that is on his, let's say on his breastplate, his boiled leather thing, is it's a red field with a mailed fist holding a lightning bolt. Okay, you're actually, when you do see this, you do kind of draw the conclusion that I think you've seen 2 other banners or 2 other insignia. They all include mailed fists. That seems to be like the common denominator between the entire Tagmata. And then the different companies, the different conturbs seem to have different devices.
And gentlemen, a mailed fist does not appear to me like an insignia of much diplomacy. So perhaps this is informative after all.
Strength, and honor.
Sure. I've often thought of hands raised in the air as a symbol of strength.
And John, I wanted to check and make sure that sheep head is not sewn on. No. Right? Like they're actually born like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good question. The first time you're going to actually examine a body closely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's natural. It's a little off-putting because it's just sort of like this weird sort of blending of fur and human skin. But it is exactly what you thought. Like it's like everything from the neck down is completely human. No signs of anything animalistic. It's just the head. Yeah.
I'm not going to thoroughly check that theory out.
Come on, man. In for a penny, in for a pound. You got to go for it, man.
I think in like a lot of other iterations of beastmen in fictional literature, like a sheep-headed guy, you would think would have like maybe backwards legs with hooves. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Like a satyr, right, or a fawn.
Yeah,
but no, that's not the case.
Yeah, regular feet.
It's just completely regularly human.
Yeah, I think this is very Midsummer Night's Dream. I think we have upset someone, or they have, rather.
Okay, so after those turns, you have found yourself where I'm dumping you off is in the Jesus, what's it called? The chapter house. The one with all of the wooden benches, wooden seats with awnings, and then there's the secret concealed entrance to the prior's study behind the largest one, but you guys would probably go towards the eastern passageway, which led into that cluttered closet, which has a secret door and that was where you had actually had your last battle, was right beyond that secret door. You had tossed an oil flask in there. You know that you got one before or at least you set one on fire, and you closed the door, and then you heard them sort of retreating back into the main, the main room there.
Niall and Mort killed one.
Oh, that was in the Beastman's area. Remember that little room with the.
Yeah. They dropped one of the 5 that charged them, man.
They dropped one because it's the only way we were able to close the door.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll also say, not to divert us, but just for the sake of it, if anyone wants to go talk to the man himself, whose name I forget every time I try to retrieve because it's a blocker now. Jacobus. If anyone wants to talk about, to Jacobus, this is the time.
Jacobus. Right? Okay, Jacobus. The prior guy.
Because we're in that room. But it's up to you.
Also, I mean, before we go in and start fighting ghouls, let me go tuck that kid in, and I'll be back. So just a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you got a lot of what we needed to get out of him. You guys were so thorough in your conversation with him.
I suspect I got most of it, but I didn't want to be the only one sort of harboring that interaction. If y'all had anything,
if I had some deep needed, like, oh my God, they missed the question where they asked him about me, then I would be like, yes. But I think you guys.
All right.
Yeah,
that was all David. I wasn't there.
I won't ask him about the effigies, though we could ask him about the erotic literature we found last session.
It's tricky, right? Because he can't actually be heard and he can't actually write, right? Because he can't interact with.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
He's all mime all the time.
All right. Well, let's just proceed then. Yeah. That's going
to be the name of my cover band, Ted. All mime all the time.
Outstanding.
Nice.
AC/DC cover, I assume.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
All right. Well, my guess is that so we opened the secret door and we went through the little hallway and opened another one, and that one is still open. We've only closed the one door.
Yeah.
So that means if we open it, we're in the plundered square room. If we open that door, a ghoul could come out immediately.
Can you guys?
We heard them recede.
Sorry, David. Just let me ask this question real quick.
Yeah.
Can you guys just show me on the map, like because I didn't watch the episode, I listened to it. Where did you fight the ghoul? Like which one of these doorways did you fight it at?
I'm circling it. It is the chamber betwixt the plundered room, 914, with the S above it. I'm kind of.
You're looking at the map segment that John posted. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm not.
So you see where I've written the word plundered?
Oh, yeah. Got it. Okay.
The secret door immediately above that word is the door we stood at. Killed a ghoul, closed the door.
Okay, perfect.
And what I'll point out, sorry I interrupted you there for a second, Mike. Though I think we should listen, we did get specific information that we heard after a time the ghouls' voices recede into the distance. So I don't think they are standing there on the other side of the door. The question is, how far are they, et cetera, et cetera.
Because you guys had lit them on fire and they basically fled the fire, but the white was unaffected, right? You guys were calling it a white, so I'm assuming that's what it was.
Hard to say.
I think we're not certain. I think John may have accidentally dropped that, but
okay. Come on, guys, let's fucking YOLO, man. I don't think they're standing there either, David.
My question is, do we want to attract the ghouls to the door and do the one ghoul at a time thing again?
Yep.
Right. Or which has the drawback of it may also attract the white. Or do we want to open the door and assess what's in there and move in or not, depending on our assessment? I kind of feel like attracting them to the door and handling them one at a time might be the way to go.
I think bottlenecks are always the better part of Valor, so I agree.
Yeah. Agreed. I love that. As long as I can get a clear view of them so I can try turning them. Why did we not bring Trefco? What was the thing?
Trefco for we've got fine. We're fine. We got y'all. Y'all's just like Trefco, but fewer arms.
Okay, let's do something. What are you doing?
Marching order. I think that we should have Njal perhaps in the front because he's the strongest tank at this point.
Yep.
Lothar right behind. I mean, we're going to be basically a 3 looking at the doorway, I'm assuming. So maybe is that fair, John? Someone right in front of the doorway and 2 people to their shoulders. So first line maybe is Njal, Lothar on one side, whomever else wants to be on the other, Wolford or I will, or it doesn't matter. I'm a caster, so I probably will go back a line, the back one. Yeah.
Should we have Elizabeth over there with the Yakin's bones to?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
bear in mind that I'm not going to cast spells because I'm in armor, though there's nothing I would cast that would be particularly useful, but I do have a decent AC right now. Yeah.
And Titus guys, we're just kind of plan ahead that if the turning goes pear-shaped, we got to retreat again.
So where are you, Lothar?
Yeah.
I guess I'm second rank, John, although I would rather be third rank, but I'll be second rank.
Okay, cool. So, you're going to have Njal open the door?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, and Njal uses the key that you found and opens the door. When you open the door... Yes, Ted?
I have an idea, which is this. So Titus needs to do something besides just pick his nose in the corner. If Titus opens the door in such a way that he's like behind the door but can block it from being pushed open further than we want, right? So I can only a small portion of it opens. We control the exit rate, if you know what I mean.
It's easier.
Does that make sense, guys? Do you think that? And right then, Titus, he's pretty strong. He could push it closed. He's right there. He's on door duty, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Thoughts?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Works.
Okay.
So that way, Njal's got his hand on his axe, and he doesn't have to worry about the door. He's ready to fight.
Okay, so Titus, you open the door. The secret passage is narrow and small. You know that. The door is open. The first thing that you notice when you open the door is that the passage itself is charred from the oil flask fire from before, and there is a very bad smell, worse than before. Obviously, of burning flesh as well, but there is no sign of light anywhere. Do half elves have infravision?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So you don't see any heat signatures, right? But you do see movement. Okay. Right beyond the open second secret door, there is a scrum of writhing bodies that seem to be rending and tearing flesh right by that door and kind of gulping it down, like rending and throwing up pieces of meat and then gobbling it down all at once. And then you feel cold emanating towards you, the same cold that you felt before. And when you open that door, you see all the eyes of the creatures that are eating some foul meal. They turn towards you and open wide, and you hear like a intake and a hiss of I think it's 3. Yes, 3 creatures all focus their rage and hunger on you, looking down the corridor at you. And you see beyond them are all of those big piles of overturned sarcophagi and jacinths and things like that, right? And rising up from the along that northeastern long wall there is you see the white sort of crawl over with its hateful eyes as it sort of like easily sort of glides over the top of the sarcophagi, and it starts off with like a low, like almost like a sing-song dirge, and then it sort of rises to like a keening wail as he focuses all of his hatred on the living, which is down that corridor. So roll for initiative. Anyone casting spells, blocking? I guess those are the only 2 things right now.
I will be turning undead, John.
Okay, that is a spell. For this case, yes. Right. Turning undead. Anyone other spells? No? Okay, roll for initiative, please.
I got would using the door kind of as a shield be able to like block, like using because I'm controlling the door, can I block it?
Just shields.
With that or just shields? Okay.
I got a 4.
Who's rolling, guys? I'll do it.
Do it, Mike.
I got a 4 as well, John.
Roll again.
I got a 3, John.
That's
I got a 3.
Okay, so first thing is movement. Anyone moving into the corridor? There's nothing in the corridor. Just be aware.
No, we're going to hang back and let them come to us, right?
Okay.
I think if the... Oh, sorry.
I'm just moving through the phases here. Missiles? Anyone shooting missiles? No? Next up is the turn undead.
Okay. I have my turn undead thing open here. I think I just rolled 2d6, right, John?
All I need you to do is actually just roll 2d6 one time, please.
Got it. I got an 11.
Yes.
An 11.
Nice.
That is really, really good. Okay, so
Well done.
y'all, it's basically like a split second. Yeah, Titus opens up the door and kind of pulls back a little bit, and y'all sort of standing in front with the with the ruiner, and then you kind of hold forth with your You've told me this holy symbol a bunch of times, and I always fucking forget.
It's a wrought iron disc with a tree and two ravens and 2 wolves.
Dope. Yeah. So you hold that forth, and as all the hatred of the undead kind of focuses down the corridor towards you guys, you kind of hold forth the holy symbol, and a burst of holy light goes over in y'all's shoulder, rockets down that corridor, and blasts into the room proper with all the sarcophagi. The ghouls who were feasting on one of their own that had died reel back, and they are physically repulsed backwards against to the back of the wall, to the far end, the northern end, and the white comes into view and hisses at you once, and then it too, like it almost like turns its face in what you can only describe as shame. Almost like it turns away, and then it crunches its shoulders, and it sort of scuttles back like a beetle towards its ghoul companions towards the back wall. So now you have 3 ghouls, 1 white. They're all turned, and they're all against the far northern end of the room. And you've got a mass of hard, heavy sarcophagi in that room. So no matter what you do, it's half movement.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Right
guys,
on, Mike.
now you're up.
Well done.
Amazing.
I take back all of my anti-Odin rants.
Thank you.
He's
So
all
yeah,
right.
that's pretty sweet. You combat is now over. I'm not even going to count that as a turn because it happened instantaneously. But they're still active. They're still doing their thing. But you have turned them.
Would you remind us, David, of what the Prior's ghost was asking you to do? Do you remember?
I can check the notes. I think he didn't. I mean, in as much as he could be specific, he indicated a location. Let me see.
Wasn't it the one to the far east, like that secret door
It's the one with the sarcophagus. Yeah, I think you're right.
Right.
And I asked if there were ghouls, and he said he didn't know. Essentially, protecting it. But it's I think I essentially said, like, do you need me to like free you? Right? Like, do you need me to like let your spirit rest? Implying that we probably have to go kill a ghoul version of him or something like that, possibly. But let me look up the actual.
Guys, now I just want to point out that these ghouls are still around. So
I know.
Combat's
That's what
over.
I'm wondering.
The turn worked, but for how long, and what do we do with them? Because they're still quite frisky.
Well, can't we just chuck? I have an oil flask. Can't we just chuck an oil flask out there and let them burn up in their fear?
I mean, that's what we did last time, but what does that do to the whites?
Probably nothing.
My
question was predicated on whether if David had to like, all I need to do is go in and like do a thing to the sarcophagus, then we could just leave, and I don't care about the ghouls in the white in the corner. But if the ghouls in the white are the thing that has caused the Prior to sleep restlessly, then we need to take care of those things.
See,
What I'm
wondering is if that white is the like corrupted, version of the of this guy.
Well, I think to take care of the ghouls. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, like, and if this only lasts 1 turn, right? So we got to do this quick. I don't know if there's anything that will make the white like come and attack us if the ghouls are burning. He won't get any closer to you, right?
So
he will want to stay away from Mike.
Right.
Quick thought. They are repelled away from you, right? Mm-hmm. So if you were to approach them, they would flee from you as you approach them.
I'm so confused about how that works in so many different editions. Like, I feel like I've read like turning rules for 30 years, and each different game has slightly different versions, right?
I think of it. Sorry.
No, I was going to say in some versions you can go closer to them, but they can never get closer to you. But if you approach them, they're not necessarily required to run further away. In some, they just continue to run until they can't run anymore.
I'll just tell you what happens. Okay. So they are, they're turned. They will not harm or make contact with the cleric that turned them. That's straight out of the RAW.
Okay.
So Lothar, you're basically safe no matter what, unless you actually physically attack them. Everybody else, you would probably assume that you're probably safe as long as you sort of stick around Lothar. But if any of you sort of detach from his general area, they are not scared of you.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a
Here's
thought.
the other reason why to destroy them, right? Because if you open one of the other doors and there's more undead in there, but I'm still turning these guys, then there's more undead in another doorway that we have to deal with.
Well, no, you're
Right.
you're not continuously turning. You turned them. They are turned.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you can do it again.
Okay, thought might be a little too abstract. We have a chasm right on the other side of the doors of where they are turned and standing, and they can plummet to their death down that chasm if we give them a gentle motivation. So we have a lot of rope,
Or not.
you could lasso them, and we could yank them off the side of the cliff, and goodbye ghouls.
I mean,
I'm down to try that.
I was wondering actually if Mike went in there and kind of could he push
I was
them,
gonna nudge
herd them,
them.
right?
That's what I was
Sheepdog
thinking.
kind of.
Originally, I was thinking you could sheepdog them because in illustrative representations of Return of the Dead, it's sort of like the holy symbol. It's sort of like a paralytic, force that pushes, in most visual representations of it. But that's really up to John and rules to determine. If that is not possible,
Right.
lasso isn't like overtly aggression. You could just like do it around their feet and then, hog tie him out off the side with a big yank from all of us. You know what I mean? I mean,
Lothar,
it's 10,
I think that's-
20, 30 feet,
Lothar, I think it's up to you. What do you do?
John, I will step into the room and try to drive them down that doorway to the left.
So you're going to kind of skirt around
Towards
to
the
the right then,
Correct.
and try to sheepdog them to the west. Correct.
Yeah. Is that what you guys were talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because the
Okay.
chasm's right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you move in there, Lothar, and you're sort of climbing over the thing, you're holding forth your symbol, making sure it's in front of the entire time, and they're all like, like in the back. When you make your way to where you know that they're on the map that was shown to you that there is a secret door, at that spot, you actually see that there is a skeleton that is sitting on the ground, and the skeleton itself is you can tell immediately, even though it's not wearing anything, that it's very short in stature. And that stature sort of fits with what you assumed that Upior would have told you about prior Jacobus.
Yes.
There is let's see. Yeah, and behind him where he's resting, there is remember all the walls are like burial niches, right, with gisants. There is it just appears to be like just another burial niche. Like it doesn't there's no indication that there's a secret door there. But your mind is really focused on the undead right now. So just be aware of that as you sort of climb over that skeleton and note it. You also kind of move around and you come to that chamber that is where the white originally came from last session, where it emerged from. And you can see that as you sort of glance in there, that there is a small chamber about 10 by 10 leading from that archway there. And that there is a large marble pedestal with a life-sized marble gisant that is dominating the center of the room. And that the wall art and the gisant have been defaced in some sort of manner. That's what you're sort of picking up just from glancing, because again, your attention is mostly on the undead. I'm just going to.
You guys are with me, right? They're coming with me.
And y'all would be at your side to protect you.
Sure.
Wolford will be right behind you.
I will be a few feet behind. Yes.
Yeah. Once again, you sort of are all at different elevations as you're sort of scrambling over these sarcophagi and things like that. Lothar taking the lead. You kind of point that stuff out, so you guys all see that stuff, and then Lothar, you find as you're moving around the right, they are sheepdog, like they kind of move along the western wall. There's once in a while, like throwing out like a claw, in frustration, but generally just sort of hissing and retreating from you. And now you've got them lined up again on that western corridor.
Okay. Do we see doors? Do we see doors or anything down that corridor?
Yeah. So, who's carrying light, by the way?
Let's have probably Wolford.
David is, isn't he?
Oh yeah, you guys, you're not doing anything.
Still have a lantern we can expend the oil on.
Yeah.
From last session.
How many? Okay.
Yeah, it's from last session. Should still have oil.
That means you had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 turns on that from where we stopped last session. So, sorry. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, lantern. Upior. Got it. Okay.
And the white is clustered with that pile of ghouls, right?
Hold on. Yes, it is.
I sure hope so.
And how many turns have we expended? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns expended, which means I got to retreat it back to here. Okay, now I got it. Because the lantern would have had been lit while you were moving to this point, right?
Right.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 5 turns left on that lantern, by the way. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Good enough for now.
yeah. So with the lantern, Upior's lantern shining down there, you can indeed see that it basically lines up exactly with the piece of parchment map that you saw there. So Ted, you can just kind of draw that out. There are indeed
I will.
2 very large Arcantian doors that are open, ajar. They don't appear to be broken, but they're just open. And there's definitely like a breeze coming out from that area.
Can I force them through the doors, John?
Do you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay, so you slowly, step by step, move forward, and they move backwards, and indeed they do pull back through those doors.
Okay, somebody go shut the doors while I hold them here.
I'll do that. I have the light, so I'm tagging behind Brother Lothar with the light so he can see.
You get one, I'll get the other one.
Yeah.
Are you not going to attempt to push them over the edge, or are you just going to shut the door once they kind of come to the side? Come.
Let's push them over the edge, guys. Let's try.
I'll try, John. Like I'm worried the white guys is incorporeal, right?
Yeah, the white we can't handle.
It's not incorporeal.
Oh, it's not.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you said it floated over the sarcophagi or
It did.
whatever.
But you're confusing it with a wraith.
How about
Yeah, well then go. These guys are going for a little ride.
Can Wolford take that spear that we got from the beastman, just turn it sideways and bum rush and try to push them over the edge?
If you do that, that'll be initiative again.
They'll be able to attack you, dude. So, John, I'm just going to take. I take 3 steps forward, chanting an ancient whiskin, calling them, to go to the halls of Valhalla and get the fuck out, and then I try and push them off the edge.
It's cool. It's a cool scene because you move like 1 step forward, right, and you intone your invocation, right, and that you take 1 step and they take 1 step back, and then they just, and they disappear screaming into the abyss.
Sweet.
Well done.
That's awesome.
That was
Awesome.
dope. Cool.
Guys, I have to go tuck in my kids, and I'm not going to use ether. I promise.
All right, time to take our first break. We will be right back. Okay, we're back. Bladder's empty, beer's full. Mike will be with us in 1 second. So what do you do?
Praise his name, Odin, great and powerful Odin, who has pushed the ghouls and the white off the cliff. Well done, Lothar. You're a stud.
We could have
There
just
we go.
pushed
See?
them
Look at
over.
that.
Pushed them over. I don't know why we had to do all that stuff.
All this
All right.
pomp and circumstance,
I'm back, guys. I
That's
have,
right.
I have a hijacker in the back. Dylan, wave.
There we go.
Okay.
That's a white of our
All right.
of our own, haunting the haunting
Yeah.
account.
One
Since
thing
we're
I
here
think
at the
we
cliff.
should- Sorry, go ahead.
No, yours sounds probably more timely, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say just like checking out these doors. John, I think you mentioned that something about the they couldn't be latched or closed.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, so I was wrong. They are stone. They're large stone doors that were already open, but the locks have been smashed deliberately. So you cannot secure them.
Which side?
I don't know. Whatever. You can't use the
okay.
you can't use the locks to secure them. Basically, if you want to secure the doors.
I think we should spike them closed, but maybe before we do, just hold the torch out and take and see what we can see.
Yeah, I think
That's what I'd like to do. If we're at the cliff, let's look, hold the torch out. I can even, we put the light out. I can use infravision to a little further range. What can we see? Any details? Any more, weird doors on the other side?
Yeah.
Or
so when you
whatever.
peer out there, peering out, you get a sense of dread at the scope of things, like the same thing that you got the first time that you were actually out there in the chasm, right? It's just like a reeling darkness, like vertigo, just like it just snaps into you, and you're just like, whoa, and you kind of take an involuntary step back, and there is echoing going on. Every small footstep, the skittering of your feet with the grit, kind of sounds loudly in your ears. And you can hear, you're not sure if it's like imagination or if it's real, but you can hear scuttling and noises and sibilant voices, you think, like coming up from the depths below. Visions of the goblins dropping Heliogabalus to his doom match up with what you just did to those undead. You remember the spiders crawling out of the darkness far to the north. All those things kind of stream back into your head, and it's complete darkness. However, let's see,
John, while you're reading, I only have probably 3 or 4 turns left on this lantern, guys. And a big thing I wanted to achieve, we can do it later if we want to check out these rooms first, but a big thing I wanted to do was take that 200 feet of rope I brought with us, tie the lantern to one end and drop it down the chasm and scope it out. So if someone wants to light a torch, I'm going to turn my lantern off for now and save the fuel.
Okay, I can light
unless we want to just do it right now. But I'm just it's up to you guys.
Why don't we do that? What if we were to do that same thing but with a torch? Is there a reason not to do that?
Burn the rope.
You can't tie a torch to a rope.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it could flip.
Why don't we just?
I think they would burn up. That's the fear.
Lower the lantern. Why don't we just lower the lantern down now?
I'm down to
instead of putting it out. And
okay.
Yeah, but we still need to light a torch right now because otherwise we'll be standing in the dark up top.
Just
also, Ted's out of sync.
It'll make it easier to see.
I was going to say before we do that, did we see that this white could fly? Can it fly? Did we see it flying in that room? Did it fly back up and get us?
No.
Okay.
It's not a red down.
Okay, so let me finish the description here.
Okay.
So you to your left, when you kind of peer around to the left, you can see that the cavern peters out after about 30 feet or so into a walled off crevasse there. But you do see that 60 feet directly west of you, not up the chasm, but as if you were looking as the crow flies 60 feet west, there is a platform that exposes itself that at the very edge of your sight, very edge of. I'm going to give it to you, even though it's beyond your lantern light. Maybe some infravision will, illuminate some aspects of it. There is a very small, narrow platform, only about 10 feet long along the chasm, about 60 feet away across the chasm. And there appears to be a pair of iron sconces that have been set into that platform. And you see that there are coils of heavy rope which are sort of sitting in like a piles, like neat piles on the edge of the platform.
When you say heavy, are we talking just good rope? Or are we talking like a dock? Like a harbor rope, like a really girthy, thick industrial rope.
It's like the rope that you have, like good sturdy adventure rope.
Okay.
And Ted, it's 60 feet as the crow flies west, not up the chasm.
So the cavern gets immediately wider.
The chasm is a lot wider than I thought. John, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you can't determine because you can't see far enough.
Yeah.
Well, no, what I mean is if I see a platform 60 feet straight west, then this chasm is massively wider than I thought it was.
The platform is 60 feet directly west. You do not know the contours that the chasm takes, especially on the northern end, the side that you're on. So just because you have to widen out your guesses on the southern end doesn't mean that the north doesn't also change as well. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. All right, I'm with you.
It's going to be somewhere over here, Ted.
Yeah. I'll redraw this.
Okay, so
it's a shame. It's a beautiful chasm. It's really
there might be other things that are there, but you can't determine. I'm just giving you that one because that is definitely like some sort of built purposely built thing that is noticeable from where you're standing. All right.
And John, it's the same elevation as us?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
It is indeed. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it is same elevation.
Intriguing.
All right.
Okay.
Toss me. Oh,
Now,
wait, I'm not playing Goran.
Back in the room, just to be clear, there are 51 tombs for the 51 priors, you would assume. 19 sarcophagi, all with open and broken lids. And that's basically it. Now you've had no time at all to actually look through anything, right? You've been either repulsed or focused on turning undead so far. So
yeah, I'd like to oh wait, let's do David's rope trick with the lantern first and then turn our attention to that chamber.
Okay, it's going to take a turn to rig that up. And
fine by me.
You lower it down. How much rope is going down?
I have 200 feet. So I'm gonna just try to like see anything I can see as I slowly lower it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Inspecting the walls around it. If I'm near a wall, looking for any sort of metallic reflection in the darkness that might catch the specularity of that lamplight or moisture or man-made objects, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just being very, very, and in fact, I think what I'm doing is laying on my stomach with my head fully gazing into the chasm as I lower it down. So I'm really inspecting.
John, I'm gonna kind of like crouch down behind him and hold his feet.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So you carefully lower it down. I'm going to say this whole investigation with it will take another turn. Unfortunately, it seems to just go down a natural sided chasm, like it goes all the way down, and it doesn't illuminate anything that doesn't seem to be normal natural rock.
200 feet, no bottom.
200 feet, no bottom.
Good to know.
Sorry. While they're looking down, Wolford's going to take that torch and just look up and see like how far he can see. What's the wall above this doorway look like, and kind of east and west? What is he, or north and south? What does he see?
Same thing, natural walls.
And I have one more thing I wanted to
well beyond the torchlight.
Yes.
Can't see the. Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing that's important, because we have a unit. Because we have a unit of measure. We know the exact length of this rope. With one of our other torches, we should toss a lit torch down and try to get a sense of scale between the bottommost reach of the lantern and how far further the torch goes, either till hitting ground or, you can see a light a long way, but till we don't see
someone with infravision might have better luck with that, since they're going to pick up their heat vision. John, right before we do that, the platform that we're on, can I look at the edges of the stone that are overhanging the cavern, and does it look like they have been lopped off, or were they crafted and like smooth edged? You know what I'm saying?
Wait.
Does it look like something came flying through this chasm and created the chasm after this platform was built? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or does it look like the original builders of the doors and the platform and everything like that got to this point and said, okay, we're done? Does that make sense?
The chasm looks like it predates the chamber you're in.
Okay. All right, cool.
I like David's idea of dropping the.
I think a unit of measure will be really useful for us.
Let's do it. Why not?
Okay.
Worst case scenario, you're going to set some troll down on fire down on the bottom.
All right. So mark off another torch. Have you marked off 2 so far? 3 total for the session.
I've marked off 1.
I'm not carrying torches. I thought y'all had a bunch.
I'll mark one off too.
I'll mark one off too. Then where it's all the same.
All right. Upior tosses a torch down, and you watch and watch and watch and watch as it goes down, 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 and finally dwindles away. You do not hear it drop, but eventually the light just sort of disappears.
Do we have a sense? Sorry to, I'm not trying to be retroactive, but because I'm trying to unit of measure, can I say that I was counting as it fell, so that I had a rough sense of the time it took to hit the end of that rope, and then see how much longer it took before it disappeared out of view?
Yeah, I don't know the calculation for acceleration for shit and all that kind of stuff, but whatever.
No, well, it'll hit a stable.
You think that it goes, the impression you get is that it goes and goes and goes, and that it must be at least the depth of probably the entire cliff face at least.
Wow.
I thought that might be the case. One last question, though I think it's already been established in prior sessions or just the obvious, but we have all this cleft rock, right? Do we see, we heard of like the scorching. Do we see any like moltenized rock or anything that would be like glass, almost like sand getting blasted by incredible heat? Anything as a surface that's abnormal? Okay, cool.
No, seems like
I think I'm done for now, guys. If you all don't have any questions.
Yeah, let's go loot the tombs, man. Loot the tombs
one for me.
Where that goes to bed.
One last thing. John, listening carefully. Did anybody say like ow or damn it?
No, that would have to be a pretty wild coincidence, but that did not occur.
I just thought I'd check, just making sure.
Okay, so
looking forward to the point where we get down to the troll gardens or whatever down there, and there's some rumor going around about assholes dropping ghouls down the cliff and shit like that.
Ghouls, garbage, torches.
I suspect there's a water source at the bottom, else that would become a problem quick for whoever's down there, and it's probably hitting a lake or something and just sinking. Because there have to be thousands of people who have thrown shit into this chasm.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? And that would be completely untenable if it was just like Trollville down there, right? They'd be like living in a giant. It'd be cool, but it'd be very Star Wars, right? It'd be like the trash compactor, right?
I like it. Makes sense.
It's a thought. It's a thought.
Anyway. Guys, do we want to spike these doors closed, or do we want to leave them open?
I think it's a.
Cephalopod's gonna get you, man.
I mean, if there's something living in the chasm flying around, I don't want to meet it. So spiking them closed makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should spike them. I do think with the rope we have, we can manage a rope bridge to the other side when and if we want to try to span.
Well, let me ask you this, David. How likely is it that you think the passage from the cephalopod room, the northern one, the one that you guys found the trap rooms in,
they definitely connect,
meets up with that platform on the other side of the chasm?
For sure.
I definitely think it does. The question is whether it's like locked from the other side or something. But yeah, we should backtrack that way first. Absolutely. I was just throwing out there, but I agree with Matt. We should spike it while we do anything in this room. Right? It's very smart.
Okay. Yeah. Who has the spikes?
I think Upior should have spikes.
I do have spikes. So I have 10 remaining spikes. The others are with the rope, or not the rope, the netting in the trap tunnel.
All right. So
I do have a grappling hook if we need it.
What, Mike?
Sorry.
I do have a grappling hook later on for your rope bridge idea if we need it.
Nice.
Hey, baby. All right. Well, we'll do it later. Yeah, so I'll knock down a couple spikes.
Okay, mark them off. Right. You spike that door. Now what do you do?
Let's loot the ghoul room and then loot the pedestal, or at least look at it where the wraith probably came from. And let's get Jacobus put to bed, and let's go look in that secret door.
I know, but what are you doing like right now?
Searching the ghoul room, all the broken caskets.
Okay, how long are you going to spend doing that?
I don't know, a couple turns.
There's 6 of us.
Yeah, why don't we each split up and we each take like a 10-foot area? We can cover most of this room if we do that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're going to spend 2 turns searching. At the end of those 2 turns, Upior's lantern goes out.
Whoops, my Upior. Do we have a flask of oil for Upior?
I have one if you need one. Do you need it?
Okay. Yeah, I was only carrying one, so if you want to refill it.
I'm marking it off.
Thank you.
Great.
6, 18, 19, 20, 4.
The elf keeps searching in the dark.
Just marking off the next lantern. Okay. Okay, so you take your time crawling over all of these broken sarcophagi, looking in the burial niches in the wall, and you're able to uncover everything that is possible to get out of here due to your diligence. So what you find... Okay, you find... Did I write this down? I think I might have... Where is it here? Sorry, give me a sec. I thought I wrote this down. I guess I didn't. All right. You find 9 pieces of jewelry, and someone roll me a d10.
I'll do it. I got them out. 6.
6? Okay. You find 9 pieces of jewelry, each of them worth 60 gold pieces.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good haul.
60 GP each. Okay, let's see. On in one of the sarcophagi that has been turned over, that underneath a pile of debris from the sarcophagus, is you find a very thin, crooked wand. Like it looks like it's like a small branch, like a twig that's like been crooked. You know what I mean? But it's not made out of wood. It's made out of some sort of strong material.
Oh, cool.
It's like a dead black though. It's like a black rotted piece of twig. And you see that on the handle end of it, basically like the thicker end, is inscribed a word into what it appears to be like petrified ebony or something like that. There's a word in Arcantian, and that word is fulgur, Fulgur.
What does that mean in Arcantian, John?
In Mithric, it means lightning.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh. I like that. That sounds good.
Ooh. Time to bring a lot of water skins with us on this adventure. Who's going to be the water barrel boy for my lightning conductivity?
Wait. Can we do a little social experiment? Can we take away Ted's magic sword and put it on one side of the room, and then put the wand on the other side of the room, and then put him in the middle and see which one he goes for?
Does the elf half go in one direction and the human half go in the other?
John, you'll probably know where I'm going with this. If you don't, I can explain. But since there are a bunch of sarcophagi, rather, some of which presumably have corpses still in them, some of which were ghoulified, did these corpses have, as many have in the dungeon, coins on their eyes for passage to the other realms?
You don't see any other corpses.
Okay. I won't grab them.
On the one corpse, which is Jacobus's skeleton, you do find some other things though. He's wearing a torque, which is beautiful, made out of gold and sapphire, and it's worth 950 gold. It is on Jacobus's corpse. He also has what you assume to be keys. So there's a small rod of iron which you can determine opens up the secret door from this end back out, and then he also has a duplicate key to the secret door that leads in. So he's got basically like 2 keys, one for each of the secret doors that leads out of here.
I think we might want to be cautious about looting his corpse rather than putting it back in the sarcophagus and laying it to rest. What do you guys think?
I think that might be a good call.
No, we take the torque and then put his body back in the sarcophagus. He's dead. He doesn't need it. He does want his bones.
But he sent us to put him to rest, right? He was clearly like his tomb was desecrated. He was dragged out of this by some grave robber.
So this was, fee for services rendered.
Well, okay, that's fine. But I want to if we're going to do that's fine by me. Onweir would do the same. I do think we should gently try to take him and plant him in what is presumably the sarcophagus in that other room.
We're searching this room first. We should finish with that.
So the room is completely searched. The only other thing that you uncover is the fact, because you know where to look, basically, is because of the map. There is a secret door above Jacobus's skeleton in the back of a burial niche. That's about 24 inches high and 4 feet long. In the back of the niche. You remember, way back in the day, the west of the Debouche, where you found Clavum and the ghouls there. It's similar to that. So there's this narrow, very secret. If you weren't told, it would have been very difficult to find.
Okay.
Well, let's enter.
Yeah, just in case
do we
there's
do
more.
that first, or do we look at the room with the weird pedestal that the wraith came from?
I think we should do the pedestal room next.
So first, okay,
sure.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. So entering into that small room, you can see that it's basically about a 10 foot by 10 foot small little chamber there. Indeed, there is a large marble pedestal, life-size marble just on top of that. And there is wall art that has been defaced The whole thing stinks of decay and death in there as well. Unfortunately, there's nothing of value. The only thing that you see is that on the pedestal itself is a name, and that name is Kairos Esgarete. You assume. Oh, and it's noted that actually that is the very first prior of the chapter of Thoth.
Can you spell that last name?
Esgarete.
Kairos Esgarete. Okay.
Is there any difference, both in Kairos's and in general in the collective like tombs / like burial slots, in like accoutrement and in like symbolism? Does it seem like over time things change in the way that these like priests are buried? Or
only slightly, like just brief changes in fashion in the Jazant. The way that the Jazants are carved changed over time, and in the fashion that's depicted on them has changed, but natural. The depiction on the marble Jazant that housed Kairos does bear a very, very slim resemblance to the desiccated remains of the white that came out of that room.
Okay. One question I'll ask on top of that. Are there any, because there is a procession over time, are there any irregularities in that procession that might indicate to me another secret, right? Like, oh, that doesn't really seem like it's gels with like the procession of these symbols and like carvings and stuff like that, right?
That's
like,
kind of what I meant. Like, it's all very natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not very smart, so the whole like Jazant thing is like very confusing to me. So is this a sarcophagus or is this just an effigy?
It's a Jazant's like an effigy. You know what I mean? Like
okay. But is there a sarcophagus in this room?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's just the Jazant. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is literally a shrine to the first prior, who we think was the white, who's now down the chasm, and that's okay. Yeah. So guys, like, I mean, if we search this, I mean, it's high likelihood it's trapped. So I don't know if we want to see if there's any secret compartments or anything like that on this Jazant effigy thing.
I absolutely. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I absolutely think it's worth checking out that marble pillar and stuff to see if there's any motion possibilities. Are the seams around there, feeling around on the underside of the edges? Are there any catches? I think it's well worth the curiosity.
You want to spend a turn?
Let's do that. But let's also look to see if there's little holes on the walls or on the ceilings or on the floors, because we've seen traps that come up from the bottom. We've seen needle traps that come out from the wall.
I got it. So you take a turn, and all of you guys really diligently search the area. You find nothing of interest.
Okay.
So in this room, then, John, there's a pedestal with an effigy on it, but not a sarcophagus. There's no urn of ashes. There's no body. There's no mummy. Nothing.
No. So to be clear, this was a chamber for the first prior because he was the first prior. That prior turned into a white. You destroyed the white. This is what's left.
Okay.
Let's go look at that secret door. I want to.
Why do we imagine? I agree, but just throwing it out there. Why do we imagine all of these priests turned into wretched undead?
I mean, it could have been a desecration. It also, I mean, I'm just going to throw this out here, but somewhere over not too far away from here is that pillar of ultimate evil that we discovered way back when, that we chickened out on discovery, and that's like practically due north and a little bit like. So does that thing give off some sort of evil emanations that create undead? I don't know.
Good. Also, I mean, whoever defaced this area, right, could have
been the ghouls in the white.
Yeah, I would assume that myself.
Fair. All right, cool. Let's check out that secret. Who's going in? Who's the tunnel rat?
Nyal will do it.
Okay, Nyal moves in first and moves aside that secret door, crawls through, and enters into a small, narrow corridor. Obviously has not been visited in a long, long time, as poofs of dust issue out from the back of the burial niche into the main room. And he reports that all is clear, but you should all enter because it's pretty amazing, he says.
Okay.
Has he been charmed?
It's really cool in here.
He's been charmed again, hasn't he?
So
I'm just
so after that narrow passageway, you all crammed into a very small room. You're like all kind of like shoulder to shoulder, your eyes wide. It is crammed with treasures. On the southern end of it, against the wall, there is an empty sarcophagus with a marble lid. That's the first thing you noticed. On the lid, it's incised with an image of a very short man wearing heels in Thothian ceremonial robes. The underneath that image, there is an inscription in Mithric that says Jacobus, Prior of Thoth.
I love that Jacobus is wearing risers to give him a little more, stature.
Yeah, it's very
brilliant.
much
such a good note.
what's his fucking nuts from down south? DeSantis action going on.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Everyone's like, all the other priests are conspiring to the fact that, like, he keeps insisting he's 6'2", and I don't think so.
Dang.
So that the lid is intact, right? And it's there in place. And the rest of the chamber is filled with treasures. It seems like accumulated over the centuries by the priors. Strewn around the room, you see the following. You're basically stepping in it. There's a lot. 6 bolts of expensive silk. Each one of those bolts is worth 500 gold.
Ooh.
Each of them weighs 10 pounds as well. There is a solid gold statuette of a baboon, some 3 feet tall. It weighs about 15 pounds. It's worth 750 gold. Solid gold. Let's see. I got to find this one, actually. There is a steel mace that features 4 prominent flanges carved in the shape of teeth. It looks
I'll take that.
nasty.
Kidding.
It looks like a vicious weapon. There are 16 10-pound bars of silver, each worth 25 gold. There are 4 discs, very strange looking. These kind of stand out a lot. They're 28 inches in diameter, so they're quite large, and they're discs, and they are grooved, made out of beaten gold with 1-inch holes in the center. They look, you know what they look like? Do you remember? When something you remember, you just kind of have to know the way that records looked when records were first created. Before they sort of reached like a mass market, like talking like in the 30s and 40s, they were huge discs, right?
Found the Voyager discs, y'all.
It's similar. It's similar to that, but they are grooved like a record. You understand?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and they're made out of beaten gold, 28 inches with 1-inch holes in the center, just like a record. There is a book, a thick book, and there are a number of scrolls. 1, 2, 3, 5 scrolls, 5 separate scrolls, each with a spell on each one. And there are 12 vials of liquid. Only 2 of which appear to be the same.
That's easy. But is this maybe the second set of clerical scrolls we found in the entire dungeon? Could that be?
Burn them.
There is also a wooden chest that is quite large that is sitting next to the sarcophagus.
Huh. Here's where the trap is hiding.
Yeah, that's bait.
Right, so we fully just found like the Voyager records. By the way, this is the golden record. The aliens didn't come over their own volition. We called them, and it was a mistake.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay,
John, can I inspect the mace a little bit closer? I want to make sure there's no goo or anything smeared on the handle. That if you touch it with a bare hand, you
touch it. Just pick it up.
I just want to throw one thing out. I fully support that. The tomb was not opened, and yet Jacobus's corpse was in the hallway, which is a huge red flag to me. So his tomb is sealed.
Very good point.
And his corpse is outside, which immediately makes me take 2 steps backwards. Y'all can do as you please in here, but I'm just throwing that out in terms of caution.
Let me get this.
Up.
Him sitting right at the doorway with the keys on him makes me feel like he was on his way there and then did not make it.
That's what I'm thinking.
As opposed to being removed from the thing. But you talk to him. I don't know.
Oh, I made a mistake. Before we go to break, I just want to clear something up, and you guys can talk about what you want to do later. The lid is actually off the sarcophagus.
You said that.
You said that.
Oh, I thought I said it was on. Anyways, yeah, it's off. Yeah, the sarcophagus is open, but you'd have to basically kind of crawl your way over. There's so much treasure, you kind of have to crawl through it to get to the sarcophagus and look into the sarcophagus, just so you're aware. And the chest as well. You would have to kind of crawl through the treasure.
I don't think he would. Oh, sorry.
Let me just take our second break, and then we can further discuss what you're going to do with all that stuff. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. You are sitting in a pile of treasure, the likes of very few times have you seen a sheer amount of wealth. I think this is probably only shy of the vault stash and a single amount of treasure. Yeah. So what do you do?
Well, this is definitely why Wolfherd is putting himself in moral peril. Exactly what he's seeing right now.
Yeah.
This is it. This is why he's down here. He's going to, well, let's do this. And he's going to like grab the skeleton from the hallway. As gently as he can to not like destroy it, and start dragging it through the hallway so that he can put that in the sarcophagus.
Okay.
I definitely think, just kind of going off of what David said earlier, Ted, is that we have so much wealth here that the golden torque on the body is like minimal. So putting his body in unspoiled, except maybe the keychains or whatever, I think is the better part of valor. Also, can I just suggest that maybe we search that sarcophagus first and make sure that there's no like secret compartments inside or anything like that?
Why don't you guys look? Yeah, why don't you guys look while I get the bones?
Okay. John, I'm gonna actually just climb right into that sarcophagus, and I'm gonna take like see what I have in my thing. I'm gonna take my my grappling hook, and I'm just going to use it as like a makeshift hammer to tap the bottom of the sarcophagus, see if I hear any hollow spots. I'll look for like any spaces for in the seams in the bottom, or latches or catches, but not triggering them if I find them.
Okay. You did not find anything of interest in the sarcophagus.
Okay.
At least really the lid would snap shut as soon as you got in there. That would have been
metal. All right. You're muted, David. There you go.
Want to extend that inspection to the outside of the sarcophagus and see if there are any seams around it that it might move, or a dais or anything that might indicate the sarcophagus is atop something rather than.
Right. Do you want to do that while I search the inside?
Yeah. Sure.
Yep. You don't find anything of interest?
Cool.
So when Wolfherd gets through the hallway with the skeleton, he'll like move the jaw. Get the hell out of my coffin.
You irreverent barbarians.
Okay, what's the plan here, guys? What are you doing?
He's doing it. He's putting the body in.
Okay. Yeah, he'll put it in.
And then we shut the lid.
And you shut the lid. Okay. When you lay the body down carefully and you shut the lid, once the lid kind of makes it over completely, shuts off the sarcophagus, the ghost of Prior Jacobus materializes in the air, a smile on its face, and looks over at Upior. It really smiles, and he has his hands like in his robes, like a monk, you know what I mean, and he just sort of bows to you, and he makes like a sign of Thoth benediction on you, and he smiles, and he's looking only at you, Upior, right, and he hunkers down and he gestures to you. Now he's like right by the sarcophagus.
Sure, I'll approach him,
and he comes around the side, and he looks like he's looking around. And he around the edge of the sarcophagus, and you know that you looked here, right? You're positive, right? And he kind of points to a specific spot that's near the floor in the middle of the long side of the sarcophagus.
I'll nod in acknowledgement and touch that spot.
Okay. He kind of watches you carefully as you do so, and like his hand, sort of like Blade Runner 2049, sort of like overlays your own. You know what I mean? As you kind of in sync sort of touch this, and you looked at this area specifically, but for whatever reason, like you feel like a certain section of stone that you can depress, and you do so. and it opens up a very small, like basically, I'd say like a foot square, little jewelry drawer, like in the side of the sarcophagus that sort of pokes out, like twink. There's like a little drawer and there's a couple of items in there. And the ghost rises up and he gestures to it like this is yours, basically. And he smiles, and he smiles at all of you. And then he climbs on top of the sarcophagus, floats on top of the sarcophagus, lays backwards, and then sort of dematerializes into the sarcophagus in the same way that his body is lying down. And then he is, and then I would say that Lothar, you would probably be able to detect that he is definitely at rest. Finally,
yeah. And
while
he's doing that, John, just to add to it, after he points it and I like open the jewelry box, I'll nod an acknowledgement and thanks and kind of like bow and just say, "Go gently, friend. What lies beyond are floral fields and peace." And that's it.
Cool. All right. Inside the little secret compartment, there is a ring, and there is a wide girdle, like a big fat belt.
Awesome.
I put it on.
The ring it seems to be rather simple and unadorned, but it is carved on the top to sort of resemble a pair of birds' wings. You put on that ring?
When I put it on, do I feel anything?
I bet it's a feather fall. I'm about to jump into that chasm, y'all.
Yo.
You do not feel anything.
Okay.
Do I see any Mithril on the ring?
No.
Okay. How about that belt?
So it's wide, sturdy, rough looking, but really very, very well made.
I put it on.
Girdle of priest strength.
Yeah. So Upior, you put it on, and you're already a pretty healthy guy. I mean, you're pretty confident in your own ability to sort of get physical things done. But man, you think that you could start slinging sarcophagus lids around this place and get this place cleaned up right quick.
Would you say my 17th strength might have risen a bit more?
You might say that, yeah.
Is muscle mage extravascular all of a sudden?
Yeah. So it is obviously a girdle of giant strength, but it the girdle doesn't actually, it doesn't actually cause your muscles to actually grow. Like you don't Hulk out or anything like that. You just are able to, you're stronger generally.
He's all like,
is there a number you would assign to that strength, John?
No, actually, in OSE there is not. No.
I'm not sure that it gives you like the bonuses, but I think it gives you like the ability to throw rocks. Is that the way it works, John?
It might be, like that potion that Lisbeth drank.
Yeah. You're not going to get like a +3 to hit and damage. You're going to get like the ability to throw like giant, massive boulders.
If I jump in the air, do I jump extra high? I'm not joking.
No.
Is my like leg strength such that if I like really like try to like to hit the backboard on a basketball hoop, I would?
No.
Okay. I was about to run and jump across the chasm.
You got to air bud that baby.
All right. Cool. Obviously we can sort out who actually gets all this stuff later, guys. I didn't. Who noted the wand, by the way?
I've written it all down.
You've written it all down.
Yeah. All right. Guys, I think this is worth emptying our packs. I have a large sack. I think we need to try and get as much of this treasure out of here as possible.
Lisbeth also has a large sack, and y'all can carry it, so they can carry a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so here's the deal. The silk, each bolt is 2 slots. There are 6 of them.
Oh my God.
So that's 12 slots worth of silk. The gold statuette of the baboon is solid gold, and it's 3 feet tall. That's a massive amount of heavy gold. That is also 2 slots. Mace is obviously 1. Each bar of silver is 10 pounds. There's 16 of them. Each of those is a single slot. There are 4 discs. The discs are quite large as well, 28 inches wide, so a little bit more than 2 feet wide, each of them. So they are and they are also made out of beaten gold, so they are 2 slots each. And the book is 1. The scrolls can be all put into a single scroll case as 1. And each of the vials is also 1 each, and there are 12 of those.
Oh my God. Hey, John, can I look at the scrolls really quick and see if they're clerical scrolls?
So you look at the scrolls. There are 5, and you lay them out on top of the sarcophagus, and lo and behold, indeed they are.
Yes! Oh, it's a great day to be a cleric, baby.
They are. They are written in the language of Thoth, which we're going to just call Mythic for ease. And they are the following spells: Command, Chant, Dispel Magic, Feline Senses, and Knit Bones.
Ooh, those are good.
I don't know what any of those are. Well, Dispel Magic, I know what it is. Command, I know what it is, but none of the other ones am I familiar with.
Those are cool.
I think
cool.
Knit Bones sounds like a healing thing.
Like specifically for,
The bell takes up a slot. The ring is unencumbering. And there's also the chest, which you have not investigated.
I was about to say, Titus would like to start investigating the chest, being aware that we've found other traps and trap chests. We've got that set of keys. I don't know if the chest is locked, if there's a key on there that we haven't used already.
It is locked, and it looks to be fairly complex.
But not the key that's on that key ring.
Unfortunately not.
How large is the chest, John, if we were to just pick up the whole thing?
Very large, like a captain's chest in a galleon.
Like it's not moving. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well,
with my belt of giant strength, might I try to lift the chest?
Yeah, you can lift it. It is not easy.
Okay.
Like you can see like your muscles straining, and you have to like set yourself correctly to sort of like lift with your legs, that sort of thing.
Sure. I flex my traps and I wink at Wolford and Lothar and say, "Hit the gym with me one day, boys, and you might be able to do this."
It is a little strange because it is like very large, right? Like so you lift it up, and it looks really weird that you being naturally large, it looks abnormal and supernatural. But when you do lift it up, Upior, you do actually hear some jingling of a massive amount of coins jingling in there.
He did it to us again, guys. He gave us a huge treasure that we can't move. That's.
I'm carrying it right now. You just have to cart me out.
All right. So real talk. How does the large sack? How many slots does that give you?
It depends on your strength. Like if Niall's carrying a large sack, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 slots. Still keep staying at 90. If we want to go down to 60, that's 16 slots.
Guys, I will just carry the chest with all of us. If I can lift it by myself, all of you assisting me should be able to slowly move with it.
No, this is the other stuff, David.
All the other stuff, David.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake.
Slots with the potions. We got the gold discs. And the gold discs had writing on them, John. They were like some sort of written record.
No.
Grooved. Like literally a record. Yeah. So Titus has a large sack and can put 13 slots worth of stuff in it without reducing his movement. But of course, large sack, you don't have any free hands.
Okay,
I have a large sack as well.
Can I just ask, what is your? Assuming you get all your slot stuff done, what is your next immediate thing that you're going to do?
Back to the debauch room, I think. Right? Should get it out of here.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we have to be careful about is, since the cephalopods are still in that room, we can't overload. I mean, we could bury this treasure into a closer room so we don't have to go all the way back, but we don't want to be overloaded when we try to make a break for it across that room.
Well, I never made a concerted search of Jacobus's chambers. That's not very close to the debauch, but if we wanted to move it from the tomb to his chambers, we could do that temporarily because no one's going to go in there, I don't think.
But I mean, it's safer here behind multiple secret doors that we've got the key to.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I think Jacobus's area is probably like maybe a little bit easier for us to get in and out of, but
it's easier for us to get in and out of, but same for somebody else who comes sneaking along. Like, at this point, if we left it in here and locked all the doors behind us, it's behind 3 secret doors.
Can I just point out that the last time we found a giant stash and then decided to walk away from it and leave it by the wayside, it turned into like a 15 session ordeal.
There were specific circumstances to that. You left Codswallop alone. So what I'm asking for is that I'd rather not spend the last 20 minutes of the session figuring out the math of slots.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is if you plan to do any more exploring, or are you heading right back to the debouche to catch that all in?
I would very much like to explore that northern passage out of the cephalopod.
Yeah, why don't we do the exploration for the rest of the session?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So let's leave the heavy shit in here. Let's take the lightning wand and like stuff that's useful to us.
I take the mace.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take the wand.
You want the wand? Take the wand.
Okay, the wand, the mace, and you're wearing the ring and the belt, Upior.
I'm wearing the ring and the belt currently. Like I said, if they're more appropriate for, and I have the Ion Stone on as well with a wisdom bonus that I don't benefit from. So at some point we should discuss shifting these stuff around.
Wolford, you deserve something fancy. What should we give Wolford?
I want money, damn it! All this stuff.
Wolford, would you like the giant strength, because it would probably help you?
Well, I don't. Does it look like it's full of hooey?
Oh, you don't like magic.
It doesn't look like it's full of hooey. Now it's up to you. I'm not going to call you on it. Like, I'm not going to be like a pain in the ass about it. Like, you did see Upior lift up a gigantic chest, which no man could possibly do. But
I don't want it. I don't want it. That's it. That is this a sure sign of hooey.
Titus
he's good with money.
Titus will pick up the solid gold baboon and say, "Observe this fine monkey, which even someone so anti-hooey as yourself must desire such a delightful monkey."
Okay, I'll carry the damn monkey.
There you
All
go.
right.
John, what page is that mace?
Everything is on page 183.
Thank you.
Wolford, it's very awkward and bulky. You can stick it into your pack. It's a 2-slot item, 3 foot tall, solid gold. It is not just finished in gold. It is, solid brick of gold.
Throw me the idol.
Sorry,
you probably don't, but you can also have the ring with the bird wing ring, Wolford, which has no apparent magic to it, but it's almost certainly magic if you want to wear that.
Yeah, you could wear that without.
Well,
it just looks nice,
Okay, I'll wear a ring. I can do that.
There you go. All right. You going to keep the monkey, or are you going to leave it behind?
I'll bring the monkey. I've got slots.
Okay, cool. All right, so you've taken what you can for now, but the urge to explore
It's strong within
is
us.
strong. Yes. Okay, so there's only basically one way to go. Well, actually, there isn't. Would you like to go into the chasm instead, or would you like to go back to
No.
Are you sure?
Okay, hold on. You said you had a grappling hook, and I would love to try to throw the grappling hook to the other platform. Even if we don't go that way, having it as an egress, I'd like to connect. And we have the rope, we might as well.
You already spiked the doors. Are you going to unspike the doors? You're going to respike the doors?
I'm just going to unspike the doors.
Okay.
Takes no time.
That's
Okay, so
fine,
I'm going to unspike the doors.
Yeah.
We only have 20 minutes, so I want to plow through this fast.
Yeah.
Unspiking the doors, putting the grappling hook on 200 feet, wearing the girdle strength.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to throw it.
You guys are skilled adventurers, so I do think that there is a chance that it's not going to find purchase, or that it's a tough throw. It's in the dark, right? That sort of thing. So before you throw, we'll say that you can kind of gauge what your chances are. I'm going to say that there is a 2 in 6 chance of failure. So you have a 33% chance of failing.
Okay.
Do you still want to do it?
77% chance of success.
Of course I want to do it.
Okay.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Okay, so roll a d6, and a 1 or 2, you fail.
Come on.
I make bets with Wolford that he fails.
3. Oh.
Okay, cool.
That's so close.
And you
That was
throw
way
it
too
over,
close.
and it appears that you actually catch it on, based upon the sound that you hear, that you catch it on the iron sconce, which has been bolted into the stone of the platform. You test it; seems strong.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to permanently fix it to this side with spikes.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take another segment of rope, because we have 200 in total.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create like
safety lines. So I'm gonna create like a bowler's knot, a loop. I'm not a bowler's knot. It doesn't matter. And have umbilicals. And if we want, we could even cut several umbilicals for all of us if we wanted to cross.
We have 200 feet of rope. It's 60 feet to this thing, so we can't actually do everybody all at once, kind of thing.
I have one at a time, anyway.
We should do one at a time.
Sorry, I don't think what I said was clear. I'm talking about taking like a 10-foot segment of rope to tie yourself to the balance beam part, and then you can go across. And if you lose your holding, you're just hanging suspended from the fixed rope, and you can scramble back up and continue to go like this across.
Unless the fixed rope comes unfixed or something happens, somebody flies by and cuts it. I'm suggesting a second rope around the waist, right?
Here's the I don't want to argue too much. Sorry. The reason I don't think that's a bad idea if we can do both. The reason I don't want to do that is if I lose holding, then I have the span of that rope to fall into the side of the cliff that you're holding, and that will kill me anyway. In other words, it does not save me from the pendulum swing of the center point of that balance swinging into the wall where you would be holding me up. It'll be a really hard hit.
Well, if we make Wolford and his mysterious ring go first.
Well, I'm good at climbing anyway.
And we can reel him in.
Okay.
He's got a feather fall ring.
So mark off however many lengths of rope that you actually are doing to set up this whole thing.
Okay, so minus 60, we have 140. I think we should do 4 segments of 10 feet. So we have 4, like short tethers. And then if you want to do another 100 or 50 or however much for the thing you want to do, Ted, we have enough. Right.
So I just need to mark off.
I have a 50-foot length too, David, that you guys are not accounting for. That was just on my character.
Okay. So I'm gonna mark permanently remove a full 100 feet of rope. A full 100 feet of rope is gone and fixed to the cavern. And I'm gonna use, for redundancy's sake, I'm gonna spike it in. I have 6 spikes left. I'm gonna use 3 spikes and wrap, weave, right? Like have several sort of knots, and with the anticipation that when we get to this side, if we get to this side, I'm going to spike that side too. Make sense?
All marked off. Okay, so it's going to take a turn to rig up all that rope stuff off. That's going to put you squarely at 5 p.m.
Cool.
And you guys are going to shuttle yourselves across. Is that the plan?
Well, one should go first, I think.
Yeah, one goes first.
Wolford volunteers to go first.
Wolford jumps on the rope and shimmies himself over. And everything is nicely affixed thanks to Upior's knowledge. And you are, you scuttle your way across the great chasm over to that platform, and you are able to find purchase.
When I get over there, John, can I light one of my torches and put it in the sconce that doesn't have the...
You can indeed. That was actually what I was going to ask about the torchlight. So yes, it lights up the area. So the platform itself is, like I said, it's about 10 feet wide along the edge of the chasm. And let's see, how do I describe this? So it only goes back from the chasm about 5 feet. All right. So it's a narrow platform. At the back of the platform, though, there are 2 corridors, both 5 feet wide, that retreat back into the stone, back into the dungeon proper, basically. So there, one goes directly west and one goes directly south.
Okay, so we got like a little 90-degree angle.
Yes, exactly. At the back of the platform, right? The southern end of the platform, basically. Okay. The western one goes for 10 feet before it turns a corner after the 10 feet to the south. And the southern one goes at least 30 feet and continues on past your torchlight. Directly south. Nice, Ted.
Like that, John?
Yes. Yeah.
And you said the western one turned, but I missed it.
It does. It turns to the south after 10 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I hear anything, John? Any scrambling, any sounds coming from either way?
You don't know.
I'm also going to, I guess before I stick it into the sconce there, I'm going to take that torch and carefully like wave it. If the roof of that cavern is there, he's going to wave it up there, just making sure that there aren't any of those cephalopods in this immediate.
Sure. Yep. Good plan. No, there isn't. The porch itself is undecorated. There's the pair of iron sconces. There's three large coils of hemp rope, each 50 feet in length. There, and in addition, this is what you didn't see from the other side. There is a small hammer, not a war hammer, but like a utilitarian hammer. 20 spikes are on the floor.
Nice.
When you're looking at the rope, you can tell that it is sturdy and made for adventurers, but it's also quite old. You have your doubts about its utility going forward. And yes, okay, got it.
So one thing I'd like to do with that rope is I want to check that grappling hook and make it sure that it's secure with where it is on the sconce, and then bolster it with the rope just to tie it so it's extra.
Let's just tie it off and then get my grappling hook back.
I also have 3 iron spikes that I used to do that as well, because I had 6 total, so I've taken it off. So we have 3 spikes and the sconce. I mean, it's fixed, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then once everybody gets over, I don't want to like make a lot of noise and call anything that's in those hallways. So after you guys get over, then we can.
Okay. I guess. Yeah, I misunderstood. My bad.
All right. So there's 5 more players that have to come over. 5 more characters that have to come over, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sec.
And we have what doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to say that. So who is the second person to come over?
I'll go.
Titus, and who's going to be the third?
Sorry,
I'll
question. Go. Oh, okay.
Give me a second. So Titus and then Lothar. Okay, Titus, you make your way over, and you're talking to Wolfer, getting things set. But Lothar, you are in the midst of the rope right now, and Upior and the henchmen are waiting their turn back by the stone doors. When Wolford and Titus, you hear clacking of multiple legs on stone coming from the western corridor.
Oh, okay.
Like a tick, 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 tick.
I will draw my sword and prepare to defend my comrades.
Same thing. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we can do. Yeah, he's going to take another one of his torches and light it to the first one and toss it down that corridor so that he doesn't have to. We have good visibility.
You're doing. Sorry, go ahead, David.
I don't know if it makes a difference, but just to clarify what I said earlier, if you said differently, sorry, John. When I was talking about the umbilicals that I was cutting, the 10-foot umbilicals, that would allow multiple people to cross the rope at the same time, because they're not using their strength to hold themselves on the rope. They are shimmying, hanging under the rope, with the umbilical being the thing that holds them.
Sure. Okay. So Lothar,
if the rope's set, yeah, I'm just
Lothar, Upior, Njal, and Elizabeth are all in the midst of the chasm right now. Right. Wolford and Titus, you were up there. Wolford, mark off a torch that you toss down that corridor. Mm-hmm. When you toss it down the corridor, you hear a hiss of reproach, and then you see the telltale signs of very large, spindly, hairy legs crawl their way around that corner into the torchlight. Multiple. Let's see, where are they coming from? There. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So you see 2 very large black bulbous spiders with dripping venom come around that corner into the light, and they splay their fangs and their legs up and rear up, and then they charge to attack you. Any spells or blocking happening? No, because it's Titus and Wolford.
I could use the lightning bolt wand, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
That's not a maybe, buddy.
So that's basically a missile if you think it is a missile weapon.
Right. I think it's a lightning bolt spell. I'm going to try it.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Roll for initiative, please.
All right.
I got a 1.
I'll do it. I haven't done it in a
You're
while.
first over. You should roll.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 1.
Oh, I got a 1 too. That sucks for you.
Hey,
All right.
there we go. Okay.
I got a 5.
I also got a 5.
Okay. I got a 4.
3. Damn it.
Okay. All right. They win. They are coming towards you. There's 2 of them, and they rush forward to attack. At the moment that they're sort of in contact with Wolford and Titus, 1 for each of you, you see that there are 2 more coming up from around the corner for a total of 4. Those 2 will not be able to attack this round. And here they come. Let's see. Where are they? Spiders. There you are. Okay. First one attacks. Titus, what's your AC?
It's 15.
15.
I don't suppose the glow of my sword repels spiders by any chance.
Nope.
Yeah.
Wolford, what's your AC?
Mine is 13. A man's 13.
Okay, we have 2 hits.
Oh, damn it.
Titus, you're going to take 3, and Wolford, you're going to take 7.
Ooh,
Mhm.
ouch.
And I need
No
each of
thanks.
you. I need each of you to make a save versus poison with a +2 bonus.
Okay.
That means that your target number. Well, just roll your d20 net 2. That's easier.
I made it. I got a 14, John.
Okay.
My save is a 12.
Well, I think it's probably good that Wolfherd had his life's vision happen and that he got this big statue, because with the +2 bonus, he rolled a 7, which is
7 total. Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
not good.
That's not good. That's not good.
Okay. All right. So, Titus, yeah, you're poked by the bite, and but you are able to fend off the poison that's entering your system. Wolford, not the same for you. You take a lot of damage, and the thing just sort of like pumps venom into you. And Titus, through the haze of melee and pain and all that kind of stuff, you can clearly see that all the color drains out of Wolford. All the strength sort of seeps out of him, and it looks like he is very close to just dropping dead. That is the top of the round. The other ones kind of appear, kind of moved, but they're not able to attack. It's now the bottom of the round. It is your guys' turn. The guys on the ropes, too, you guys can talk among yourselves. What do you want to do first?
Just talk amongst yourselves there.
Sorry. There's a lot going on. They're all coming from the Western Passage, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Upior, if you guys permit, with his girdle of strength, would like to get off the rope, grab Wolford's body, and run south so that I can get him to safety potentially. If you permit, Matt, does that make sense to you? Since I'm
completely unconscious, so do
You're
whatever
fast,
the hell you.
Oh,
I have a cure light wounds.
Wait, hold on. Wolford, are you actually unconscious?
Oh yeah. With the
the
bite itself brought me to 1 HP. So if the poison did any damage at all,
The poison
I
did
am in
not
the
do
negative.
damage, but it is a deadly poison. So you're still up, right? I don't have to look at the death and dying yet?
Yeah, correct. If
Okay.
the poison doesn't do any damage yet, he's at 1.
You are totally functional. It's just more for
Okay.
flavor, but you are poisoned.
I am wagering that the southerly way will lead to the northern of the cephalopod chambers. I'm hoping, and getting some distance maybe might help us. Does that sound good to you guys for something Upior would do?
I have a cure light wounds. If I get there, I can heal him. But we
both
just got to
start,
be
right?
able to fight the spiders. So why don't we see what happens when Ted uses his wand, and then we can make an assessment.
It will take
Totally fair.
it will take a round for everyone to get you can't get to the ledge this round. You have to keep moving across the rope.
Okay.
All right. So they're
that's-
moving.
Yeah, you guys keep moving on the rope, I assume. And then Titus, what are you going to do? Or Titus and Wolford, you guys are both capable.
Titus will stand back, my friend, and he'll pull out the wand and do a flourish, and he'll say the word Folger and hope that works.
Okay, when you
That's part of
when you speak the word, you can feel like coursing up and down the length of your forearm, and then finally releasing out the tip of the wand is, very strong electrical current. Causes all the hairs on the back of your neck to stand straight up. You can feel it too, Wolfhard.
Right on. I'm more interested in getting all the hairs on the spiders to stand up. So is it like the spell, John?
I want you to roll 6d6, please.
Yeah, it's like the spell,
Yes.
baby. Ted, remember it's Wingardium Leviosa.
11, 15, 16. 17 points.
17. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to make a save. And they both fail it.
Nice.
Shouldn't it hit all four, John? It's a 60-foot range.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Good point. Good point. They all fail. All right. So you Fulgur, and it just just lights up the entire, the chasm itself just like brightens up, right? And it just smokes all of those fucking spiders right down the thing chamber.
Yes.
Just fried, just smoking. And you're Titus, like you get you're wide-eyed and crazed, like your hair is like all like poof, like that. We'll say for flavor that you get like a nice little white streak too.
Ooh. Doc Brown into Back to the Future action.
Yeah,
I do a little dance of victory.
Nice. As you do that, and you spend a charge on that wand, the rest of the party is able to kind of crawl their way across, and you can see that Wolfhard can barely stand up.
Elizabeth immediately casts a spell. Her level 3 spell, Protection from Poison, baby.
Okay, that's not a sure thing. I got to look that up.
Which says...
So it doesn't sound like a neutralize to me.
Pre-existing poisons, any poison... Wait, oh shoot, I lost it. Any poisons that are actively affecting the subject when protection from poison is cast are neutralized. A character who has died from poisoning can be revived if this spell is cast within 10 rounds.
Whoa, that is a good spell.
Bringing it, baby.
Now, to be fair,
I'm glad we didn't bring Sam.
You did actually have that one prepared. I just want to ask.
I did.
Okay.
You didn't ask, but it's on her sheet.
Wow.
Okay.
The trust.
Prepared.
Okay, cool. So that's huge. Elizabeth comes over and she it actually kind of, well, hold on a second now. We have a problem.
Okay.
Because you're a barbarian.
Get your
This is true. Yeah.
hoo thing off of me.
He's distracted by my elf dance and did not notice the druid.
He also, maybe Elizabeth can just make it look like she's just doing like, here, I'm
Like
going to rub
flicking
some
him over?
poop on your wound.
Yeah. Barbarians will accept divine magic associated with their tribal religion, which he's not. Refuse to knowingly use or come under the influence of spells or magic items. I'll buy it.
He will like push her away, but he's gonna die without, and then this will bring him back. He won't have any choice.
Yeah, but I think I buy whoever was talking about like making it look like she's just putting some,
Some goop.
Butter.
goop on you. Yeah. And we'll call it. I think that's fair. Yeah.
You're just going to say, well, look at us.
No, I'm fine, really.
And she's like, "You'll take it and you'll like it." And then you actually do feel better, and you kind of look up at her with newfound respect, like, "Wow, that is some fast-acting plant."
That is some good goop.
Now,
goop.
Wolfhard Cheek, you're down a lot of hit points. Have you thought about the power of Odin and how he can be in your life?
That will
That's
not
a
work.
bunch of bullshit. I'm fine.
You can convert, John.
Let's see if any of you guys know this reference. Upior will turn to Elizabeth and say, well, look at us. Appears we got here just in time. What does that make us? Anyone?
What is that? I don't get it.
Oh,
Big damn heroes. No one?
No.
Still no one?
No.
Firefly, come on.
Oh, there you go.
On,
Yeah, deep cut, dude. That's like
Big
you
damn
know,
heroes. Come on. That's what
that's far beyond leaf on the wind. I'm a leaf on the wind. That's far beyond.
All right, so that's a pretty suitable pretty suitable ending to the session.
man.
Wolford, you were close. So the deal was with those spiders, you fail to save your poison. It is a death poison. Then I have to roll a d4 to determine how many turns until you die. I rolled a 1.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was that was a clutch spell by Elizabeth. And you're lucky that it was Elizabeth who had the spell who could actually fake it. Like Lothar, if he had something similar like neutralize
That
poison,
would be all glowy.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked, or you would have refused to take it. So that was a close thing. And then we got to see the Wand of Lightning do its thing, which was pretty dope.
That was awesome.
I've never felt prouder of my abject neglect of Sam than in this moment.
No kidding. And smooth moves by Upior with the once again the utility of rope. So yeah, that was an avenue I was not expecting you. I thought maybe you'd try it, but I thought you'd say you wouldn't risk it. But cool. So we'll leave it there. The newly unexplored territory on the other side of the chasm. Gonna still try to link up that map as best you can. Very, very cool. Okay, we will leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching and or listening. You've been watching 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for all the notifications when we put up new material. And also, don't forget to check out the Patreon. Lots of cool bennies if you sign up for that. You can always join our free Discord server where we have lots of fun discussions going on every day. Also, go check out our single and only, up to this point, publication, Feats of Exploration. Guaranteed to help your OSR campaign. I'm not going to say your money back, but I guarantee it. It'll help. And thanks, as always, to all of our patrons, all of our explorers, delvers, and especially our conquerors. And I have the honor of reading those out tonight. We have 3 new conquerors, which is pretty awesome. We have Dakota Nielsen, Horus of Oz, and Grumpy Grognard all joined newly. Thank you so much for your support. And we have the ranks of our usuals. We have Cam, Stephen Q, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, Kabrowskis, Declan Koneski, Chad Cartier, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, G Tokyo Time, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, James Doig, Robert Valdez, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, the Hex Brawler twins, Summon Toast, Adam the DM, Jib Cutter, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dire Grew, not Matt, but not least, and then the Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support. We really do appreciate it. All right, guys, everyone have a great week. We will see you next time. Bye now.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.